it is so pervasively evident that most Christians, they don't have a clue about what they're talking about. And this is the contradiction that people of the world see. And they call Christians what they call themselves on it. And they're absolutely right to do so. Because most Christians are just a sorry example of they're hypocrites. You know, they sit there and they talk about, oh, this and that, and they end up doing the same things in secret. That's why they have no power to convict people of what is wrong and right, because they themselves in their secret closets are doing all these kind of things, or they think the same way as the people of the world. And it's really, you belong nowhere if you're in such a camp, you see. And this is the sad thing. So, for example, this is an issue. I've dealt with this for many years. I've had to deal with this kind of thinking, where you hear people say, "Well, I'm no longer." I was once praying, you know, and with somebody, and there was a third party who was not involved in the prayer, you know, really, and actually, I was discussing with somebody, and there was a third party who was not really involved in that discussion. And I was talking to this person about servanthood, you know, about following. This is many years ago, you know. And this guy was from the islands, and the other person ended up having to, you know, was born in this country and raised here. So I was talking to him about, so immediately this guy interjects after, you know, a while of listening and says, well, you know, we are now no longer servants but friends. So these are the kind of little, you know, what do you call these things? Little snippets that people have eaten, and there's no depth to what he's saying at all, because he doesn't know what he's talking about, you know. We are now no longer friends. I mean, servants, but friends. You don't understand what a friend is. First of all, a true friend has love for you. Okay? The greater the love, the more that friend is willing to sacrifice for you. You see? The more they're willing to sacrifice is the more they care less about themselves and more about the other person. So if you're on the deathbed of somebody, and they have to pass their bowel movements right there. For anybody that has any clue or has been to the hospital or been these kind of places, they know that you don't think about the smell. You don't think about the physical condition of what somebody's looking like. You see? Because your love for that person has already surpassed all those things. So this person who says, oh, we are now no longer friends, he doesn't know what love is. He doesn't have an idea what he's talking about. A true friend is the greatest servant. That's what they don't understand. You see? Their definition of friendship comes from the world. That's the problem. You see? They don't want to be humble. Because it takes humility when you see somebody in the hospital bed and you have to clean them and you have to do all these other kind of things. People who are going through wars right now, people on the streets, they are shooting themselves. You see, they shoot themselves. He ends up having to look like something else. He ends up in the hospital. He has defecated on himself. How do you deal with that? But people, they don't live in a reality. They're living in a fantasy. You see, that fantasy that has deceived so many people of what the reality is. You see, the reality is that if you really want to follow Jesus Christ, you have to become a servant. You need to be willing to lose more and more and more. It's the truth with anything, and most people they don't know the truth of anything because they're a little bit of everything. That's the problem. They never really followed something to such a degree. You see? So they don't know what sacrifice it takes. Whether it is in school, whether it is in you know, you go to schools. You know, when I went to school, everybody was just cheating. You know, I also cheated myself in the school. It was a Christian school, by the way. All the track athletes had the exams, and so you see, you never really had to go through things to understand what's really going on. So when you have to lose something, for example, you lose your time. For example, you lose you have to forsake the party because you have to go and study. You know, for example, you choose to lose a good times for the sake of working on something that you are building. You see, these are just symbols. It's just an example of one day being able to do that for the kingdom of God. See, if you cannot discipline yourself and wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you see, to go and benefit yourself, then how will you be willing to benefit the kingdom of God, which you cannot see? It's impossible. This is not an illusion, my friends. This is not a kind of a game where we can just sit there and, oh wow, I'm a friend. I'm no longer a servant. That's how the person told me. Oh, you're a friend? Really? Okay. You just never been through nothing because you've been pampered and buffered by credit your whole life. You see? By a system that owns you. You see, and that's the problem, is people try and follow a Christianity that is owned by the system of the world. Where systems that run America, corporations. It's corporate Christianity. You see, they tell you how to view, how to pray, how to view this and how to view that. You're reading in a book and you're trying to follow something. What somebody told you, a formula. You see, what is that? You need to wake up from this synthetic dream that is owned by Mammon and wake up to reality. Because when you go through some things, that's when your heart begins to function. You feel some pain, you begin to ask yourself, should I keep doing this? You begin to go through this and that, you begin to say, hey Lord, I need your help. Because you start realizing, my friend, your own capabilities are very far away from getting anything done. You see? And that is the problem with people. I hear so many Christians, oh yeah, end times. Oh wow, the Illuminati. Oh wow, this and that. Oh oh end times. I'm the last remnant of this and the figment of this. And what you are is just a figment of imagination. That's it. It's not real to you because you never suffered. You never went through nothing. Because then you would have had to depend on Jesus Christ. You would have had to trust in Him. You see, I don't wish people to go through things, but the truth is this, that if you want something, you've got to go through something to get it. You see, some of us, we don't have the things that other people have, but is that bad or good? It's good, because I don't see the same as other people. Who I am on the inside is different than other people. Many times, I don't see what people call success is my failure. You see, what people are doing to get what they have, I will not do that. And that's the problem. You see, because there are certain things that I cannot do. I'm not going to go and be part of a corporate entity. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to go and do all these other things. I'm not willing to sleep with somebody to get here. I'm not willing to lie over here. I'm not. So I have to lose that now. Because why? Because Jesus said so. I'm not going to be part of the crowd that says, oh, you have to do what you have to do, in order to... If that's what they want to do, then that's what they're going to do. You see? So, my friends, back to this. The servants require humility. Humility. Humbleness. Because you realize that, hey, just like this person today is on the hospital, they don't know what they're doing. They're unconscious and suffering over here. I have to clean them up, and that could be you. You see, you humble yourself, but people don't. They think they're God. They think that hey, this will never happen to me. We're going to sit here and pontificate Bible verses and scripture. We're going to sit here and start receiving the definition from somebody we don't know. Who told you that you're no longer friend and servant? And which spirit defined that for you? Huh? You're not led by the Spirit of God, my friend. The Spirit of God. My friends, you don't know what you're talking about. We're no longer friends. Jesus Christ died on the cross. Died. You think He smelled good? You think He was wearing a Versace? You think you think he was flying around in Gulfstream jets? You need to sit there and think what you're talking about. We grew up in a society that has alienated you from the truth, just kept you in a synthetic pipe dream. And with that mentality, you're trying to define God. It doesn't work, because God is the definer of everything. You gotta humble yourself and ask him what servant is. Ask Paul, ask Peter, ask these guys who you worship. A lot of people, they worship Paul and Peter, and Paul said this and Peter said that, and they never learned to have a relationship with the one who told Paul and Peter. You see, Paul, you think these people, they were dressed to a T? You think they were riding around in Benzes and Beamers and these kind of things? My friends, they lost. Jesus said, if you choose to lose your life in this world for my sake, you shall save it. My friends, are you losing? In the eyes of the world, you will lose. People don't want that. In fact, they call themselves friends because they are friends of the world. There's no conviction in there's no power and authority in their words, because those words don't emanate from the consuming fire. That's why. They emanate from hypocrisy, from lies, from people who are telling other people, oh yeah, you need to, oh yeah, this no, everybody's okay, we're all alright, we just keep doing what we're doing, and we're gonna get, we're gonna enter into this place called New Jerusalem and everything. My friend, that is just your imagination. I meet them all over the place. In fact, this is a condition that exists all over with people of the world. But Christians are eating of the world. That's why they're also the same. See, people just think, oh yeah, well, I can do this. I'll be able to do this. I can do that. If you do this, I'll do this. Then you do this, and it's like a video game where he's pressing the buttons, and you do this, and it's someone else, some character, figment of moving around on a screen. But then when you actually, when the guy gets tested, oh that, I'll do this, you do that, I'll do this, and then if you use this strategy, it all comes to a crashing zero. You see, my friends, it comes to zero. Less than zero. See, because it's all just an imagination. It's all just thinking. Never been tested. See, so when you start going through some things, you start thinking about it. Okay. It becomes a concrete decision because you've gone through things in life. You see, myself, I've been through things. Not because that makes me anything, but even when I've decided to say I don't want to follow God no more, those things, I could not run away from them. I couldn't. Because for me, I will not be alive many times over if it's not for Jesus Christ. Not my own hands, not my own might, not the strength of the world, the devices of the world, the strategies of the world. No. Just one name. And that name is real to me. It's not a joke. It's not a game. When you have a knife on your neck, when you have a gun on your head and many other things like this, my friends, it's no longer a game. We can sit there and read a book where somebody went through that and then go back to sipping the latte, having donuts and coffee and all these other kind of things, and entertainments and pleasure. And it's not, you think I'm getting angry. It's not anger, my friends. It's because you care for somebody. You care for people. You don't want them to believe in a lie, to believe in deception. Believe in it, that the reading is going to save you. And following things the way somebody else has told you is going to, you need to know the truth. You need to allow yourself to be tested. If you think that you can run 10 miles, go try doing it. Then you know where you stand. It will judge you. But you don't want that judgment. You want to stay on the sideline so you can keep deceiving people that you can run 10 miles. When you have never been tested and tried, then you're a fake. See, my friends, look, become the servants of Jesus Christ, and you will not worry about this world anymore.